Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to NetScaler Application Delivery Management monthly webinar. And this is the last webinar for the year 2022. With this, who all are online today? It's myself, Avinash Kumar Pandey. I'm the host and the panelist. Along with me, I have my fellow colleague from ADM Product Management team, which is Priyanka Yadav and Karthik Srivatsan. And I have Isha Khurana from the NetScaler ADS Product Management team, Application Delivery and Service Security Services Product Management. So, what is the agenda for today? First, I will take through the ADM service overview. All attendees who are new to this ADM webinar and are not using the ADM as a management monitoring or analytics tool for their ADC infrastructure, or those who are an on-prem customers for the ADM, it would be good chance for them to have a quick glimpse on what the ADM service is and what are its value propositions. Then we'll, after a quick intro, we'll quickly move to the sessions for the day, wherein I will be covering and taking you through the couple of management monitoring improvements. Among them, the first one will be the crypto utilization matrices availability into the network reporting. And now we have the support to select the image from the SDX for the SDX upgrade from the resource library itself, and then followed by Priyanka will be taking us through the security advisory support, which has been released for the new CV, which was announced yesterday, which is CV 220-2022-27518. And then we have couple of improvements and the enhancements done into the analytics, wherein Karthik will be taking us through the those along with the integration to the new Relic. And as we every month we have from last 1.5 years, we have been covering the one of the primer section where we pick one of the features from the ADM and walk through so that a user who is not using that, it will enable you to understand that feature and use it for your use cases to manage your ADCs and applications. So today it will be app analytics where we'll be talking through deep dive into the web insight, how you can use it and what are the wonderful analytics which are there with anomaly detections. These will be covered by Priyanka. So with this, let's talk about how you can quickly jumpstart to the ADM service within 3 quick steps. First, you have to create a Citrix Cloud account. Once the account is created, you just have to select the ADM service offering from the list of all the Citrix cloud service offerings. Once you have selected the ADM service, you have to select either public cloud, or if you have an on-prem infra, you just have to select an inbuilt agent. The moment you select that, you will be presented with an activation code, which will be the service URL and activation code. This you have to take it and copy it into your ADC, and your ADC will be discovered over the ADM service for management and monitoring. In case if you want to do with the agent, then you have to, of course, install an agent on-prem and then get it connected to the ADM service. So this is about a quick start for the ADM service and start managing your ADCs. There are various ways to migrate existing setup or to discover the existing infra. Those are also very quick steps to do. So let's talk about what are the value propositions or the advantages of having an ADM service. Among the first is it's very easy to operate. You don't have a high availability or disaster recovery hassles. All the latest updates, whether it's a customer enhancements or the bug fixes or the product enhancement from our end, all those finds bi-weekly updates, and every month 2 updates goes into that to address on priority into the ADM service. Then it has a very faster time to value, which means you get started in few clicks, whether it is any feature or, as you saw, right, even the onboarding is very smooth, and you get started in few clicks there itself to discover an ADC. Then it has a well state-of-art advanced machine learning. This is very exclusive to EDM service. We do have the analytics available over the on-prem. However, here it gives you and points you to, it actually tracks the all the performance matrices of an application once the analytics is enabled, and show you the anomalous behavior and the corrective actions around it, whether it is an application SSL posture, whether it is an application response, or it is application usage, in any type of anomaly, or it is an WAF. All those, these are captured under here. Now, what is lower OPEX? So when we say lower OPEX, which means it takes very less time to bring up an ADM service, it's already up and running. If you're registered to the ADM cloud, and the moment you select ADM service, you have the infrastructure ready for your ADM to be discovered, ADCs to be discovered, and you can start using it as soon as it is there, as soon as you have registered to the ADM service cloud. Then, as the infrastructure is over the cloud service, you literally don't have to invest a lot of money here or the resources to manage, unlike over an on-prem infrastructure where you need dedicated hypervisors, storage units, and the manpower to manage and updates and control all the issues which happens over the update, all those things. And then pretty much any ADC environment, whether it is a hybrid environment where you have on-prem ADCs, or a public, or just only public or only on-prem, any form factor of ADCs are supported. And any kind of application, whether it is monolithic, classic monolithic applications, or more advanced or newer age microservices. So what all features have came since our last connect we did on the 15th November last one. Apologies for this typo. So we have these all four management monitoring enhancements which have came, which is the crypto utilization matrix. As I already talked, we'll be covering this. We'll be covering the SDX upgrade. We'll be talking about the Z license expiry information. We'll be talking through the analytics in the action policies, and we'll talking through integration of New Relic. These all will be covered today as a part of the agenda. And of course, we'll be talking through the new CV which has been published yesterday for the ADCs. Priyanka will be talking through that. In case you want to read more, you can always go through the release notes available over the Citrix ADM service, NetScaler ADM service documentation page. So let's start with the agenda for today. Excuse me. Let's start with the agenda for today. The first one is oops, sorry. The first one is the SSL Crypto Utilization matrices available over the network reporting. So now you can view the SSL Crypto Utilization report for all the asymmetric crypto utilization, symmetric crypto utilization, RSA, DH, ECDH, ECDSE, all these global counters which are being used over the instance for various SSL transactions. Now you can track it over the network reporting for an instance, and you can have a graph plotted for it based upon whatever the time duration you have selected. And of course you can export those and have a value reflected in a CSV, or you can directly export this graph itself for your usage. And in case you want to set a threshold, that is also there. So we'll quickly talk about this when we go through the demo. Before that, I would just want to cover a couple of more so that we can cover all the demo together. So the next one is the Z license expiry information. Here, when we talk about Z expiry, it's nothing but, as you know, right? If you have a pool license customer and you're using ADM service or ADM as a licensing server, earlier we only used to show whatever the license is being used and consumed by given from the pool licensing code, pool licensing bandwidth. Now the zero capacity which are installed over an SDX or MPX, that information was not there, if they are, when they are going to expire and what is the date left for it to expire. So those information now are being captured here into the ADM console under the pool licensing settings itself. Will again show you that where it is available. But if you see here, it itself shows that within infrastructure license settings, bandwidth licenses, you will find a tab, extra tab, to view all the ADCs which are connected and using the pool licensing. You will have the information for them showing what is the expiry for their zero cap licenses. Then third, as I talked about, right, SDX upgrade. So earlier, if you want to upgrade an SDX, what you have to do, you need to select the local appliance where the you need to have the firmware already uploaded, downloaded, and uploaded over that ADC SDX to get it upgrade ready using the ADM service. Now you don't have to do that. When you go into the upgrade job flow, you now have the option to select it from the image library, and at the time of schedule upgrade, the image will be pushed to the SDX for the upgrade. This again will talk in a demo, so let's quickly go through the demo now. Okay, so first we'll talk about the crypto utilization. So as I said, right, here Within the networking dashboard, you have to click on new dashboard. Let's say if I give crypto, and under the global counter itself, you have now something called as um, SSL Crypto Utilization. So you have to select this, and then of course in the next step you have to select the all the instances for which you want. If you want to create for individual instances, then you can create the dashboard for individual, or you can select the group of instances. It will show the cumulative for all the instances in one graph with different color coding. So let's say as I was talking about even in the slide, if you recall, this is how it will actually show up for you, wherein the moment I select an instance, it will show up all these six crypto utilizations report. So as you see here, if I create a crypto utilization, I can select n number of instances. So right now these instances are not having any traffic, so that's why it will not show up any value. But if you select and if you go through the graph, it will show up all those values. So like if I select multiple, it will show in the different color codes. Like here, if you see purple are showing for the second instance, then you have green, and then you will have amber as well. Now, let's say you want to set a threshold for monitoring the asymmetric crypto utilization for a certain instance, or a symmetric, so that you can keep a tab on what is the current utilization on this box, and you can plan and size the device or increase the resource in case you need more traffic to be SSL traffic to be handled by that instance. So you go on to the thresholds, click on add, then here you will have the option to select. Under the ADC, you have option to select SSL Crypto Utilization as the report name. Then you will have all those six crypto utilization being available here. You can set the threshold value. You can set the clear value for this threshold reporting, and then you can select the instance for which you want those things to be reported, and select the way you want to get it notified and create. So it will start notifying you as soon as that threshold value, whatever you have set, is reached. And you have, of course, you have the comparators, whichever you want. It is less than or equal to, less than equal to or greater than equal to, whatever you chose. So this is quickly about the network reporting available for crypto utilizations for your instance. Now let's talk about the other small improvements. And by the way, all these improvements have come from the customer's input. A lot of enterprise customers were looking out for this crypto utilization reports to proactively monitor their ADC's utilization around the SSL. So yeah, this will definitely help you in case you're looking out for this one. Then again, this upgrade job is something again has been a customer enhancement, where now you have the SDX upgrade job has an option to select the image from the resource library itself, whatever image you want, and then you select the instances. And as you follow the upgrade job path for any other ADC instance, same way you have to follow for the SDX as well. So we'll not be talking more into the upgrade job, because there is separately, I have covered this in previous webinars. So always you can visit the on-demand webinar and visit that section to read out, and it is also available over YouTube. Okay, then as I talked about the Zcap license, information being thrown here. So if you see in the infrastructure, pool licensing, bandwidth licensing, now you have an extra tab which talks about the Zcap licenses. Now I don't have any box here in my lab environment with MPX or SDX. Once you have in your production environment, you will be able to see for those MPX and SDX which are discovered and leveraging the pool license, you will have the information of their zero capacity license on when they are expiring. So these all were the quick enhancements which I want to cover under the management and monitoring. So now I will hand over the mic and control to Karthik, and Karthik will take us through the enhancements within the action policies, how you can now over the web inside directly you can configure, or you can configure multiple applications action policies to get informed when an anomalous behavior is there, and along with that new Relic integration, which is a new one supported over the ADM service. So both he will be covering. Karthik, are you there?
Thank you, Avinash. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Let me make you presenter.
Thank you.
Yeah, over to you, Karthik.
Sure. Give me a second. This. then do this. Do slideshow.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All yours.
Yep. Hello, everyone. This is Karthik here, ADM
You may
Product
need to,
Management team.
sorry to interrupt. You may need to collapse the control of GoToWebinar.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yep. Karthik here from the ADM Product Management team, taking care of analytics, compliance for the ADM service, and then ecosystem integration and observability data export. In this, we will look at a few enhancements that we have done on action policy. There are two major user experience changes that we have done based on some customer feedback. When we go through the demo, I'll quickly touch upon what the action policy means for those who are hearing the action policy for the first time. But those who've used action policy in the past, I'm pretty sure these two user experiences will come in handy. So with enhancement 1, I wanted to say what the admins cannot do today or what problems they have. So if there was any violation and the admin wanted to select multiple applications for a specific violation or a condition, then they would have had to create multiple action policies, but we've enabled the admins to add multiple applications for a single parameter in the same policy today. A simple use case would be that the admin needs or the admin expects that he would like to be notified via an email if the average server processing time for 5 of his critical applications is greater than 100 milliseconds. So previously, again, as I said, he would have had to create 5 different action policies, but now there's one policy that describes his intent to be notified, and then he can select the metric as the server processing time and give the value, and then select 5 critical applications that he wanted the notification for. The second one is a very important one. A typical journey of the administrator in Web Insights starts by looking at a specific application, and then what are the response time contributors, what's the overall response time, and whether the problem is in client network latency, server network latency, or the server processing time. And then they look at different trend graphs to see where are the spikes of this, and they would like to be notified if there was a spike seen in an application, and they want to be notified further. So today they don't have the ability to create this notification from the very page they are seeing a problem. So they see the problem at Web Insight, and they will have to go to action policy, which is out of the context, then add an action policy, and then set the action policy. So what we've enabled is literally 2 different things. One is that when the admin is troubleshooting a problem in the trend graph for any metric in Web Insight, he or she can create a notification for any metric right from the view where he or she sees the problem. And since we are in a context, when the action policy is created, we auto-populate a few fields ourselves and only expect minimum data to be filled or almost no data to be filled by the administrator. And a typical use case can be that you are in a Web Insights a trend visualization section. You're seeing that for one of the application, the server response time is spiking, a data sample in the graph is spiking, and you found that to be something that you want to be notified of next time. You can hover on the pointer and then create an action policy and then complete this. Let's go to a quick demo to see what I mean. All right, so action policy exists in settings, actions, action policies. And let me just cover a quick 30 seconds to those who are new to action policies on what this exactly means. So we have a plethora of metrics that the administrator can create actions on. So that encompasses 2 main buckets. One is the security violations, and the other one is the application performance anomalies violations. So if the admin wanted to notify on any bot violation or WAF violation or specific violation or anything per client, they have different sections to select, and then they can go back. Okay, for example, let's say that let's take an example of the performance anomaly. So many customers or admins have come back asking me, can I create a notification if the app score violation metric, for example, anything like the active services. So if there are too many active services is how many services you have associated to the application and how many are active. And the number of active services typically means higher throughput. The more the services, the better the functioning of the application. The lesser the services, the lesser the function. So you want to be notified that some of the services are going down and the breach count could be greater than or equal to, you can specify a value. If you see that if it breaches twice, then you see that there is something anomalous to the number of services associated to the application, and then you can create a notification. So there's a lot such anomalies and metrics available. So I would urge you guys to go and validate and see how this can fit your daily routine to be able to get notified and then come to the ADM and mitigate the problem. Let's jump right into Web Insight now, which is the enhancement. So let's click on a specific application, say share file. So now, as you guys know, I mean, I'm pretty sure this would be a familiar screen for most of the folks. So we have requests, bandwidth, and a few response time contributors. So if you click on client network latency, if you hover on the data samples, we are actually helping you create an action policy from here. So assume that your spike is here, and you can create an action policy. So when you create an action policy, what we've done here is that we know the context from where you clicked on the create action policy. So we knew you were in the client network latency page. We knew that you were in a data sample, which was 1 millisecond. And for instance, at your deployment in your pages, it could be a 100 millisecond sample. So in mine, it was a 1 millisecond sample. So we auto-populated that with 1. And we default to greater than or equal to. We understand that anything that spikes more than this value is what you want to get notified to. So we have defaulted to that. And the app name also gets defaulted to share file. Now here, what you can do is, you came with the concept of looking at share file, but now you're seeing that share file is exhibiting something like 100 milliseconds. So if you wanted to finish the creation of policy, you can do, or you can extend your thought process to say, okay, share file is 1. And I have a few more applications that I feel is critical, and I don't want them to breach the client network latency more than 100 milliseconds. So you can add a few more, like a few more applications from here, and then you can finish your intent, which you started with on one application, but you overlap that with multiple applications that you feel are critical, and then you create notification, and then you can select anything, and then you can hit create the policy. So what we did was two important things. We knew that this was the context that you were finding a problem. We allowed you to have an action policy associated to it. And we gave you the facility to not just pin on one application, but continue your intent to making that to multiple applications in the same context without you having to go to settings, action policies, and then create it. So this is a significant user experience, and I'm pretty sure you guys can leverage and see. If you have any feedback, feel free to let us know. All right, moving on to the next. Let me do this. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is integration with New Relic. Okay, the first real question is why are we integrating with New Relic? So integrating with different endpoints has been a real need, and a better together story always resonates well. We're not trying to replace the endpoints that the enterprises have started their journey with, but since ADM comes into the mix, we want to make sure that the rich insights from the ADM and the ADCs are entering your third-party observability dashboards, and that you are meaningfully able to draw conclusions of troubleshooting the actual problem of the app delivery logic on the observability platform of your choice. And the phrase that we are using is to meet the customers where they are. You could be using New Relic, you could be using Splunk, and we have a lot of rich insights from the ADC and the ADM. And we want to bring that data to the platform that you use. instead of forcing you to come into the ADM. You could always look at the ADM for sure, but then if you're looking at someplace else, this rich data is portrayed there in your observability endpoint to make your troubleshooting and triaging much more effective. And why New Relic? Because New Relic is a pioneer in application performance monitoring, where they have the ability to look at issues related to the application code stack itself. And then what can ADM bring into the picture is that it manages the ADCs, and we know the app delivery logic much better because every traffic goes through the ADC, and then we understand the pattern of the infrastructure, the traffic patterns, and then understand if the problem is between the client and the ADC, between the ADC and the server, or within the server, and we provide that visibility to you. So it's very evident that customers, before they purchase ADM or ADC, I'm pretty sure that they've been managing multiple network nodes. So they could start with an observability endpoint from the very beginning. And as I said, when we come into the mix, we want to make sure that the rich data is available in ADM when the persona comes and looks into the ADM, or if the persona is looking into some other dashboard, there is the ability to export that rich data to wherever the other persona is wanting to look the data. And New Relic is a single pane for app admins, and ADM can provide absolutely great ML processed insights about application performance and availability. And this would only make the visualization and troubleshooting much more efficient for the administrators. So the network admins typically look at the ADMs because ADM is managing the ADC. The infrastructure monitoring and management is very effective, and we've heard this from a lot of our network admins. And app admins can typically also look at the ADM, but they may have New Relic as the APM vendor of choice. So we are enabling the data to go from the ADM to New Relic, so that the app stack visibility can be seen from the New Relic side, and any application delivery path issues can be seen from the ADM's export into New Relic. So this is a journey that we have started. And in the current release, what we have done is that we piggybacked on an integration we did with Splunk, where we were sending the security violations to Splunk, and we've extended that to New Relic. But please stay tuned, because more value around application performance and availability will be unlocked in forthcoming phases, like near January, February, and the Q1 timeframe. So how data is ingested from ADM? It's using a New Relic API endpoint with an authentication token. And how the data looks in New Relic is a flat JSON key value attribute. So typically sending in a vendor neutral format like JSON into any entity like Splunk and New Relic helps you play with the data. You can build widgets, you can build panels using the attributes of choice, and that value gets displayed. And New Relic helps you build custom dashboards on your own from the data ingested. So this is a dashboard that I built myself from the data that we were sending from ADM into New Relic. So you have something called as a New Relic query language. It's a very powerful tool, a very simple SQL-like syntactical tool, where you can build panels and dashboards which can be constructed with an SQL query, and the data will be rendered. For instance, my first panel was a simple SQL query where I'm selecting the total count of attacks from my table for the last 1 month. And the second one is I'm collecting the unique transaction IDs which saw the attacks for the last 30 days. And then what are the unique applications which have seen the attacks across these 110 transactions in the last 30 days. So as an admin, you can start to build your own dashboards. And as I said, this is a journey we've started. The security violations are the first ones that we've put into the New Relic, but there's more value to unlock, and we will do it in phases. I'll just give a quick sneak peek of how you configure this on the ADM. So we again go to settings in the ADM, and we have something called as ecosystem integration. So which is the third-party integration, if you will. So we have subscriptions. When you add a subscription, What we've truly done here for the administrators is that we allow you to subscribe for features that you want exported instead of forcing almost everything, which could mean that irrelevant data is coming to you, and we give the ability to the admins to select the features of choice to be subscribed. So let's assume that you want only the bot violations, and we'll click next. So this is where you select the endpoint. And we have three options today. It could be a neutral HTTPS server where you want to send these events. We have this Splunk integration, which again typically follows the same API endpoint, the authentication token of sorts. And now here for New Relic, we're going to use the same thing. So if you see, New Relic hosts an API endpoint, and New Relic is a SaaS only platform. It hosts an API endpoint where it says newrelic.com/v1 accounts, and this value is typically your New Relic account ID followed by events. So this is the events is the database into which the data will go stay ingested, from where you can use the NRQL and build your dashboards. So you will provide the authentication token given by New Relic, and you provide a subscription name, and you hit submit. So once you do this, as you get the violations from the bot, they will be immediately sent to New Relic, and New Relic will start publishing that data. And you can, if you have built your user widgets and panels, the data will start getting populated. So that's about what we had in terms of analytics. Again, there's a lot that's going to come on this space, so request you guys to stay tuned. And with that, I really wanted to flash a few poll questions related to the observability plan.
Karthik, before you flash a poll, there is one question which has been raised saying, do we have the infrastructure score violation alerts?
The infrastructure, oh, that's a good question. The infrastructure violation alerts are not in action policy yet, but that's something that we are working towards, and that will be a value we'll deliver in time.
Yeah, just please confirm that. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Avinash. Hello, everyone. I'm Priyanka, and I'm back with our analytics series that we have been doing since last webinars. But firstly, let us cover and let us have the information on the new CV that has been released this week on Tuesday, that was 13th December. So some of you would already know that ADM supports identification and remediation of CVEs that comes through. We help you automate this process, and we have security advisory feature that has a great value proposition and makes it easy for you to identify and remediate and make your NetScalers vulnerability free. So for this particular CV, we are using a combination of config scan and version scan to identify whether your NetScalers are vulnerable or not. And to remediate your vulnerable NetScalers, you need to upgrade it to a release or build that is fixed. For further details, you can go through security bulletin, just additional information. The CV is related to the SAML feature that is enabled on your NetScaler. And so for the customers who do not use security advisory or are on ADM on-prem, I'll request Avinash to send a security advisory video link so that the customers can go through and have a quick look on what security advisory does and how it does it. Moving further, how it looks like in the security advisory dashboard, we have a CV repository tab where you can find all the CVEs that has been published till date. As you can see, I've highlighted the new CVE that is published, and the publication date is December 13th. It's a critical CVE, it's a SEV1 CV. So you would like to go back and check whether your NetScalers are vulnerable or not. For that, you can have an immediate scan. It's also known as on-demand scan. So you can click on scan now, and the scan will run in background and will assess and identify whether the managed NetScalers are vulnerable or not. And the result will be result can be viewed under the current CVEs tab. So as you can see, this was a run on one of the setups. So new CV can be found and affecting one of the ADC details. Similarly, you can also perform and you can also see whether all the NetScalers that you own and are managed by ADM are vulnerable to this new CV or not. So that was it for the new CV. Let us come back to our primer section where we were talking about application analytics previously. And today we are going to cover web insights. So we already discussed about application performance dashboard and how you can see whether your applications are performing well or not with the help of color-coded dashboard and the application health score. We also discovered how you can identify the current issues that are affecting your health score of the application. And we covered the key metrics tab where you check whether your applications, what's the peak usage for your application, what is the lean usage for your application. Now today, like you know the drill, we'll talk about the problem first. So any network communication has a few actors like client, for when if NetScaler is in between a server and client, so it would be NetScaler in the communication, and then there is server. So say if there's any issue that occurs in this network communication, it can be either because of client side network latency, or there would be some issue related to NetScaler, or even the issue can lie in the server side. But now, what if a client comes and tells you there's a higher response time, he is not, the application has been performing very slow and is not able to access it? What will you do? Where to start from? You don't know whether to start from client, whether to start from NetScaler, and whether you need to start troubleshooting from server. So this will take much of your time, and the problem statement here is how you can identify and troubleshoot slow applications. What if you want to analyze all the applications that have been performing slow and take corrective actions? What are the action items that involves, or what are the process that involves in troubleshooting such slow application? First, you need to identify which applications are these. Then analyze the root cause and identify what root cause is causing your application to perform slow, and then take corrective actions. Now, this entire process is fastened and made easier with the help of Web Insights. But first, let's talk about what problems are we solving here. So we understand that your application would be some business critical application, which would impact your business in a negative fashion or the entire organization's productivity. And as an administrator, you must want to ensure that all your applications perform like optimally and avoid any such negative business impact. Also, secondly, if there are unknown root causes, much of your time is spent here to identify what is the issue, and rather you should spend this time in taking those corrective action and making sure that your application is up and running in no time. So let us understand how Web Insights analyzes this application slowness and helps you. So first of all, any kind of anomaly that happens on application and related to application performance, we highlight that. We identify and pinpoint the exact reason for the application slowness, like what it can be either client-side network latency, server network latency, or the time taken by the server to process the request. We also suggest some remediation steps to help you remediate these kind of application slowness. Let us see how we do it in the application in the product itself. So this is the application dashboard that we had talked about. Now, how to access Web Insights? There are two ways. Firstly, if you know the exact application that is performing slow, you can come here, assess the health score, and click on that application. For example, here we click on Workday, and we want to understand what are the web-related insights. So here, as you can see, the data curated is for last 1 hour. You can change it for 1 month to have more data and more accurate trend. So here we already talked about performance. Like I said, we have current issues under it. We talked about key metrics. Now Web Insights will give you, will highlight the anomalies that are related to your application performance and pinpoint the anomalies that occur under each each actor data metrics like client network latency, server network latency. So this is one of the way where you can actually view application respective data. What if you want to have an holistic view on how all your applications are performing and have a comparative view? You can come here under application and click on web insights. This is much this gives you much more data and gives you comparative information on all your applications. So for example, here in the first table, you can see the top applications with respect with the high number of anomalies that were found on those applications. How to read this data? As you can see, SharePoint tops that chart with 9,767 anomalies that were found on it. If you hover on this bar, you can see the bifurcation also. So here, client network latency has it's the maximum anomaly contributor. The same information is also given in this particular column. And against each application, it also gives you a response time range. So this tells you that SharePoint average amount of time or an idle time range is 1 millisecond to 4.11 millisecond for accessing SharePoint. If any response time falls beyond this, it is highlighted as an anomaly. You can see the maximum anomalous response time that was recorded is 73.50 milliseconds. And like I talked about, the maximum anomaly contributor here is client network latency. So this is how easy it is to consume the data and read the data and have a quick gist on which of your applications have been have the maximum anomalies and what is causing that application to behave anomalous. So if you can come here, have this look, and if you want to have a more drill down view into the application, you can click on one of the application here. I click on Concur. This gives me this immediately gives me a trend of what kind of request has been coming in, number of requests. If you want to change it, and if I say I can see here some text in red, which is immediately catching my attention and something is wrong. How to read this? The response time is 2.65 millisecond average response time, but there are 2,600 anomalies that were found here. You can click on response time to understand the trend, and this immediately gives you a trending line where it shows where all the timestamp where this anomaly was found. To just have the anomalous view, you can click here on the legend, and this will just give you the anomalous timestamp. So this is a summary of the total number of anomalies found under each sections. So mind you, this client network latency plus server network latency plus server processing time accounts for the response time. If you understand, and if you like server processing time has the maximum number of anomalies, if you want to assess that, you can select the server processing time. Now this gives you overall graph and graphical representation in a summarized way. If you want to have more further details on the timestamps and everything, you can scroll down. You'll get an anomaly details table, which will give you the exact timestamp, exact date when this happened. For example, one of the anomaly that was found on 15 December, the app response time was 537% more than what the expected range was supposed to be. If you click on the arrow, it will give you the connectivity wise details, where it points out that the issue lies in the server processing time, which was 35 milliseconds, and which is 650% more than the expected range. And it also gives you the detail of which server IP address you should first look at. So this is going to save you your time on knowing where to start from and what to do. On what to do, we also give you recommended actions where you can actually, so for example, for here in the first line, it says select least response time load balancing algorithm. So this by doing this, you can remediate this application slowness. So we not only tell you what is the issue, where is the issue, we also tell you what can be done to remediate them. Now let us come back. So this is how application slowness can be identified and troubleshooted with help of Web Insights. Now next problem statement is, so like we talked about, there are multiple datas. It's difficult for you to consume. It's hard to have the refer this data from different dashboards. So there's a problem in having this summarized view into the performance and usage of all your ADC instances, applications that are on that, the client perspective, and the URLs that are being used. So there's a lack of having that summarized view. Also, there are a lot of important metrics from like for the L4 to L7 layer from OSI, which is application presentation. You would want to know what is the render time for your client to process this application, or process the URL, or process the view. So we do not have the visibility. We also, like I said, we lack the summarized and unified visualization, and the data points that are there are minimum to troubleshoot. So this problem statement is addressed by Web Insights, where it helps you to have a holistic view and gives you detailed metrics across all the top application, clients, URLs, and instances. The few use cases or the few metrics that can be leveraged by administrators using Web Insights are, so you can understand where your users are coming from, which geolocation, and what are the response time against that geolocation, the most popular browsers that are being used by the clients, the most popular operating system that the client is using, the top operating system for your clients, and what is the response time, what are the requests that are, total number of requests that are coming through such operating system, the most loaded and the least loaded servers across all the applications. So these are just few of them. There are other metrics also which can help you to understand how your applications are performing, or what kind of clients you have, or how your URLs are doing, and other things. Now let us see how you can view this data and leverage them. So coming back to our Web Insights. So here, coming back to our main dashboard page. So you can see multiple tabs here. In the application tab, you can see all the application perspective details, like top applications with high number of anomalies, top application with high bandwidth, response time, and request made. So here I can understand, so here I have selected request. If you want to change it, you can also change and get the applications that have the highest bandwidth. Similarly, you can do for response time as well. We also have server related details, where we can find out which servers are accessing the application, the domains that are accessing the application, and the location of the client or users who are accessing the applications. So this is how we have multiple such metrics. We have the HTTP response status, how many response status, 200 response status were captured, how many of them were 404, how many, so this particular table gives you which request methods has the maximum number of requests, like we have get here. So likewise, we have other metrics too. This is from the application perspective. If you go and select the clients, it will give you client related details, where it will show you top clients accessing the applications, and location, again, the locations where from the clients or users accessing this application. And this is from the client's perspective. Similarly, you have URL tab, instances tab, which gives you details respected to what you can see here. So this is the entire, you can get the entire data into one summarized view and one summarized dashboard, so that it's easy for you to consume them. Now let us come back and discuss further what else Web Insights can do. So obviously you would be using SSL to establish a secure connection between your between all your network entities. So there are failures due to some SSL related issues, and you do not have visibility into it. You have to constantly monitor the SSL related errors and usage. Also, the performance is affected because if any cipher mismatch happens, because of which handshake failure happens, and your the connectivity breaks down. So as an enterprise, you would have some standardized protocols that you would like to use. here you can get the visibility with websites. You can get the visibility on what protocols are being used, so that you can decide on what kind of, so you can decide on the non-standardized protocols and removal for them. So we use Web Insight to also identify the SSL based errors and usage. We let you know if the applications are facing any kind of cipher mismatch or unsupported ciphers, and any kind of difference in protocol version, and if there are any handshake failure. We also recommend you actions for resolving some of the cipher mismatches, and give you detail on other SSL usage, which we'll see in the demo and in the dashboard. Let us see what we do. So it's the same dashboard, Web Insights. If you scroll down, you'll get the SSL related data metrics. So now here you can understand that these are the SSL errors that are faced overall in all your applications. So we know that cipher mismatch, there are 103.9 million number of occurrences. If you click on this, you'll get further more details on what can be done, what are the SSL ciphers, what are the applications that are affected by it, which clients are affected, and like I said, the recommended actions that you can do for eliminating this type of issue. Coming back, we also show you we also show you SSL usage, like what certificates you have been using, what protocols you're currently using in your communication. So like if you want to assess what would be the impact if you change the protocol from TLS version 1.2 to some other, so you know that when you click here, you know that there will be these many applications that will be impacted, these many clients that would be impacted. So this will give you an understanding on whether you'd like to change the protocol or not. Similarly, we have information on what ciphers are used and key strengths are used. These are too many metrics. We would not go forward and discuss them. But as you see, we have so many of the metrics to show and to assess you in having your applications work correctly. So I hope you find the value proposition in the Web Insights and use it, and let us know what you feel is good and what you feel is bad in it. That would be it, Avinash. I'll hand it over to you now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you for taking us through the CV and the primer updates. So as we are on top of the hour, I will just take a couple of minutes to make an important announcement. As we know, right, now we are at the end of this webinar for this year, and we don't have the further invite schedule for the upcoming year, because we are trying to concentrate more onto the NetScaler community, wherein we'll be posting on and all the latest updates and latest connects with the experts of the industry and from the Citrix or NetScaler BU. So, and of course, since we are going through a transition as a company and we are trying to go to the Citrix Cloud Software Group, so we'll be, of course, changing the tools and technologies so far we have been using for webinar. That's why we'll not be having a webinar, and we don't have a plans for upcoming webinars for the upcoming New Year's. But as soon as we have sorted out all the new tools and technology we'll be using, we'll again we'll be reaching out to you guys, and we'll for sure we'll be connecting back to you. But for the time being, to get updated with all the latest update being coming across all the various NetScaler product lines, we'll be having NetScaler community portal, what it is and how you can onboard to that NetScaler community portal, and how you can connect to the experts and get a live connect with them to connect to a specific expert, or broadcast your use cases, or you itself being a contributor here. Those all this kind of details I will hand over to Isha to talk and take you through the brief on what NetScaler community portal is and how you can benefit from it. Isha, over to you.
Thank you, Avinash. Can you make me the presenter?
Sure, 1 second. I think I'm just trying to, but somehow it is denying me. 1 minute. Okay, now you should be requested for presentation.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope you're able to see my screen and
Yes.
hear me fine, right?
Yes.
Sure, thank you. So I'll just get started. So this is Isha from ADS PM team, and today I will introduce you to the community platform, and that will be like your go-to channel for your customers to find support, advice, best practices, discuss, provide feedback, and much more from a single place. So this will be your one-stop solution to find a fellow community members which with whom you can have a digital journey and experience will remain cohesive for you. So let's just take a look as to what all things it now 1 second. Yeah. So the NetScaler Community Forum, the other key offerings that we are focusing on the community platform is there are various verticals to it. It'll be examples of get started. You will be acquainted with the advanced use cases. There will be 24/7 browser-based hands-on labs, community provided solutions, best practices, and you can get expert advice from the fellow Citrites, from end users, and from partners as well. So all the experts together would be part of your will be part of the journey will be a part of your community platform. And who is this forum for? So this forum is for the cloud ops, DevOps, DevSecOps, Kubernetes platform operations, existing users, so net operations, IT operations. So everybody can be part of this forum and can contribute and also leverage benefit from this forum. And the key focus areas for now has been AppSec and API security, automation, cloud native, public clouds, analytics. And moving further, we will be introducing more and more categories such as observability, webinars, videos, etc. So everything which will cater to your needs to actually to fulfill all your questions, queries, anything you want to post about the NetScaler. So it will be everything will be NetScaler centric. So now I would take you through that how you can actually leverage and contribute to the NetScaler community forum. So we have various verticals to it. So first would be that you can familiarize yourself with NetScaler solution stack. So it will be more around the introduction part, more around it will be a knowledge bank for you so that you can get acquainted with the NetScaler solution stack. You can also, and not just the knowledge bank for you, but you can engage in various conversations with sales, PMs, engineers, customers, partners, everybody who is expert here with NetScaler and who has everybody has different expertise. So you can talk to them, you can actually interact with them. So everything will be at your discretion with the NetScaler community platform. And also, apart from just the discussions, you can also showcase your automation, cloud, security focused group tools. And like you would have certain use cases that you would want to showcase, some queries, some questions, for example, you want to get addressed, or maybe some use case you were able to solve with NetScaler. So we would actually be we would like you guys to actually contribute here such that all our other members as well can benefit from it. So it's a community, so we all can benefit from each other. So it's more around that you would have come across various community platforms as of now, but this one is specifically to learn and share how to build the modern applications using NetScaler products. So this will be wholly solely the NetScaler focused. And not just you can publish your articles and showcase your automation videos, etc., but you can also invite your team members from the cloud platform, DevOps, security operations, so that they can familiarize with the NetScaler offerings. And you will have the complete list of everything regarding the NetScaler products. We would have informational videos, etc. So let me just take you to a quick look at how our NetScaler community platform looks like and how can you actually onboard. So if you want to onboard a NetScaler community platform, you can just do it today itself. It is easier to onboard. You have, when you click on the community platform, this is the URL that we have, community.netscaler.com, and you have the login button. So now I'll just quickly take you there. So here you can log in to the NetScaler community platform. And as you can see that we have Google, LinkedIn, Twitter. So you have various third-party third-party authentications that you can do to get into the NetScaler community. You can also, if you've already signed up, you can use your username. You can use your Gmail IDs, your company IDs. Everything is possible. And if you are part of Citrix, you have your Citrix IDs, so you can go through the community login. And if for example you want to post something, you want to publish some articles, then we would grant you the author login such that you can also author here. So I've already logged into my community platform, and as you can see that you can directly go here, ask a question, post your question, and we have the experts here who can address your queries. And we have various verticals, as you can see: NetScaler, cloud, security, microservices, automation, and observability. So all these you can go inside each one of them, and accordingly you can filter out articles, blogs, etc. of your relevance. And as you can see that this is the featured content. So this is the most popular content that we have here. So this has been written by our experts. So we have solution architects, we have various PMs, engineers, everybody who has been contributing to our portal already. And so here you also have the filters where you can see top questions, latest post, most recent activity. And also when you go to a discussion and you feel that there is something more you can add to, or it can leverage that solution, you can also upvote that solution and the comment. So that is how you can do it. Let me just take you quickly here. Yeah, so here this particular solution was selected as best, so it was upvoted. Now moving on to the home page, I also want to take you to the leaderboard. So before the leaderboard section, maybe I would want to talk about the lab section. So currently we have 3 labs which is available for you guys to try out. These are the browser-based labs, which are 24/7, which are cloud native networking with NetScaler CPX, deliver applications with NetScaler and Terraform, Ansible. So automation related and CPX related this lab you can go ahead and launch, and there you can just try it out here itself. So this will be available to you. If you want to launch, it will be a self-guided lab. And also, now I was talking about the leaderboard section. So these are our top leaders in the leaderboard section who have been contributing the most. So we have the top 5 here, and let's just take a look at one of them. Not just I just want to familiarize you that as actually how it will look like. So now as you are onboarded to the NetScaler community platform, here is an opportunity for you to come to the to rank yourself up on the leaderboard section. There will be some points that will be granted, and based on that the ranking is decided. And also, so you can see that here we have a lot of posts that he has done. There are a lot of questions he has answered to. So so with this you can also get to know that he is a solution architect, the expert here. And if you want to contact him directly, so you have the poll section where you can ask your question, give him the choices, and you can just ask the question right away. So you need not have you need not go to various channels to interact with the experts with Citrix. You can get your solutions, everything on the go. And also you have you can also get to know that this particular person is expert into which areas, so that also gives you much more information around it. And moving further, if you, for example, take off the labs, so you will get here the recognition badges which will reflect here, and you can also share it on your social media and be proud about it that you were able to just actually go through the lab. So these are few pointers that you can try it out. And coming so now just want to summarize one thing, that once you're on the NetScaler community platform, you need not actually just hover around various platforms of Citrix, NetScaler, and find out the content. Everything will be here. Every small details, every information that you require would be right away available here. And if at all you want to address further queries, feedback, then you can reach out to the PM team through adscommunity@citrix.com. You can drop us an email. So with that, I will end the session, end my session. Over to you, Avinash. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you for taking us through the community platform. So, hi everyone. I believe it's a time when we start leveraging this community portal, and that's where we will find you, and you will find us, and all the host of experts who are there. As you saw, right, Steve, right, he's one of the solution architects from the NetScaler product management, and he's also there contributing. You can connect directly to him, connect directly to us, and talk in there. And of course, in future, once we have sorted out our internal changes, and when we are there with you, and we will connect you over the all the webinar details as well over onto the community portal. So stay tuned there, and be available there, be connected with us, and hope to see you again and connect to see you again in the near future in 2023. With that hope, I wish you everybody a very happy Christmas and a very happy New Year, and have a great year ahead till we connect again. So with that, we'll be ending this year's session, and hope to see you again. Have a great day and a great month ahead. Bye bye.